For years, Aaron Rodgers has been surrounded by speculation about his relationship with his family. While much of the story has remained private, recent developments suggest that some old barriers may finally be coming down. But there is one relationship that still appears complicated, the one between Aaron and his younger brother, Jordan Rodgers. That is what has caught so much attention. Aaron has reportedly reconnected with several members of his family, including his parents and his older brother Luke. For fans who remember how distant the family relationships once appeared, that is already a significant development. But when photos from the family reunion appeared, people quickly noticed something. Jordan did not appear to be part of the gathering shown publicly. And suddenly, fans had questions. Was this simply a matter of timing? Was Jordan unable to attend? Or does the complicated history between the brothers still need more time to heal? There has been no clear public explanation for Jordan's absence, so it would be unfair to assume exactly what happened. But the situation has naturally reminded people of the brothers' long and complicated history. Jordan previously spoke about his relationship with Aaron during his appearance on The Bachelorette. At the time, he explained that he and Aaron were not particularly close and that their relationship had become distant. Even then, Jordan's comments were not simply angry or bitter. In fact, he expressed love for his brother and acknowledged that Aaron lived under enormous pressure as a professional athlete. That detail is important because family disagreements are rarely as simple as they look from the outside. Fans may see a photograph, they may see who is standing together and who isn't, but they don't see the private conversations, emotions, memories, or personal circumstances behind those moments. And when a family has been dealing with distance for many years, rebuilding those relationships can take time. Aaron has now described the period of reconnecting with his family as a kind of bonding experience. That alone represents a major change from the picture fans were familiar with for so long. It also seems that Aaron credits his wife with helping him become more open to the possibility of reconciliation. According to the comments shared in the original report, Aaron described his wife as someone who has had a profoundly positive influence on his life. He suggested that her love and support helped him become more open to reconnecting with his family. And honestly, there is something quite touching about that. Sometimes the person standing beside you doesn't have to solve every problem. They simply help you see that another possibility exists. A little patience, a little understanding, and maybe the courage to take the first step. Family relationships can be complicated, especially when years of distance are involved. There may be old disagreements that nobody wants to revisit publicly. There may be different memories of the same events, and there may simply be people who need more time before they feel comfortable rebuilding a relationship. That may be why Aaron's apparent progress with some family members is significant, even if everything isn't suddenly perfect. Reconciliation doesn't necessarily mean everyone immediately becomes inseparable. Sometimes it starts with something much smaller, a conversation, a visit, a shared meal, or simply deciding that the past doesn't have to control every future interaction. And perhaps that is what makes this latest chapter so interesting. Aaron appears to have taken steps toward reconnecting with parts of his family, but the situation with Jordan remains unclear. Fans naturally want answers. They want to know what happened between the brothers. They want to know whether the relationship can eventually be repaired, and they want to know whether the two siblings might someday be photographed together again. But unless Aaron or Jordan chooses to explain the situation themselves, anything beyond the publicly available information remains speculation. That is especially important when discussing family matters. Behind the headlines are real people, real emotions, and a history that outsiders may never completely understand. The possibility of reconciliation is something worth celebrating. Aaron's story shows that even after years of distance, people can sometimes reconsider old relationships. Life changes, people change, priorities change, and sometimes what seemed impossible years earlier becomes possible later. His comments about his wife also add an interesting personal element to the story. She may not have directly pushed them to reconnect, but her support apparently helped him become more open to the idea. That is a reminder that healthy relationships can influence us in unexpected ways. Sometimes love doesn't mean telling someone what to do. Sometimes it simply means giving them enough support to make their own decision. And perhaps that is what Aaron needed: a little encouragement, a little perspective, and the freedom to decide what kind of relationship he wanted with his family moving forward. As for Jordan, fans will have to wait for more information. There's no confirmed explanation for why he wasn't included in the publicly shared reunion moments, and there is no reason to automatically assume that the brothers' relationship has permanently ended. Maybe they simply aren't ready. Maybe circumstances kept them apart, or perhaps the relationship is progressing privately in a way that the public doesn't see. Only they know the full story. What we do know is that Aaron's relationship with parts of his family appears to have entered a different chapter. And after so many years of distance, that is meaningful. It also leaves fans wondering about what could happen next. Could Aaron and Jordan eventually sit down and rebuild their relationship? Could another family gathering finally bring everyone together? Or will they continue taking separate paths while maintaining their privacy? For now, there are more questions than answers. But maybe that's okay. Not every family story needs an immediate ending. Some stories take years to unfold. And sometimes the most important progress happens quietly, away from cameras and social media. Aaron Rodgers has spent much of his career in the spotlight, but family relationships are deeply personal. Perhaps the best outcome is simply that he and the people closest to him continue finding their own way forward. And if that eventually includes a renewed relationship with Jordan, fans will undoubtedly be watching with interest. What do you think about Aaron Rodgers reconnecting with members of his family? Do you think there is still hope for Aaron and Jordan to rebuild their relationship? And how much credit should Aaron's wife receive for helping him become more open to reconciliation? Share your thoughts in the comments. Whatever happens next, this story is a reminder that family relationships can be complicated, but they can also change with time, patience, and understanding. Sometimes the hardest part isn't forgetting the past, it's deciding whether there might still be room for something better in the future.